All right, hello Divine Feminines, how are you? I hope you are well. I hope you are navigating this energy. It's kind of a lot. I don't know how you're feeling, but it's a bit overwhelming for me. Let's see how the counterparts are coming up. Otter, beautiful. Horse, lovely. Camel. Octopus. The octopus is one of the more interesting cards of the deck. I will say that much. For me, it feels like a very feminine energy that's hard to define. Very multifaceted. The way the light is right now, I know this isn't great. Might actually turn my desk around. Alright. Wow, we got the Starseed card. Page of Swords, Starseed, Seven of Pentacles, and Knight of Swords, Hermit, Nine of Cups, Star, Ace of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, and Page of Cups. With the Seven of Cups, interesting, and the Knight of Cups. Three Knights. Five of Pentacles, Two of Wands, Four of Swords, and the beautiful Lovers card in this deck with all the chakra pillars. So, a lot of movement. All the Knights are upright too. But the pages are reversed. So you have 5 court cards here, plus the Hermit and the Star. I get this feeling of like, blank if I do, blank if I don't. I get this feeling of like, he's asking for tarot, divination, signs. He may even, like, if this has been this awakening, because Ace of Wands can mean spiritual awakening. Now, if it was 3 aces, I definitely would be focusing more on the spiritual awakening here. But I feel in a lot of ways with the Star, the Starseed, and the Ace of Wands that is already happened, or he's integrating. Oh, I see a card out of place. Interesting. Okay. Well. The cards that I found were pretty highly spiritual cards. In fact, dealing with shadow and I would say awakening too. So that's interesting. I don't know, he's looking at options of ways of movement. And I will say that even though there are, how many Swords cards here? Just 2, the Knight and the Page. Yeah, I feel like he's watching you. Mirror. Interesting energy here. There's very interesting energy coming through because he wants to highlight his kind of inability to make a decision right here. The energy coming off of the horse is, for me, it's like, it's a stable energy, but it's like there is this kind of burden on it to know that it's right, to know that this is the right move. And in a lot of ways, I think, I don't know why they're having me do them upright today, but they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Getting ringing in my ear. Interesting. I don't know. You may get a phone call. Twin flames. Okay, so I get this feeling like many times he has come to like a bridge is what they're showing me. Ow! My foot. Interesting. And sorry, I'm just reading the messages here. And it's like they're kind of showing me a troll, but they're also showing me like a rainbow bridge. And then it's like the troll kind of saying, are you worthy to cross this bridge? You have to pay the toll. And like the toll is you proving to yourself that you're worthy. I don't get this. Okay, can I have more, please, Spirit? Because this is very confusing to me. It's like he goes to say, I am worthy of making this journey, transformation, crossing. The crossing is like reaching out to you. And then he looks back at all of the things he did, and I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at this scenario that they're giving me because it's very complicated. You're usually just giving me such simple scenarios. But like I'm feeling this really dense pressure in my heart area, and it's like, so I'm going to transmute. If any of you are feeling like really dense energy in your heart area or solar plexus, let's transmute all stuck energy in the heart and the solar plexus across all time, space, and dimension. Spirit, thank you. Spirit, thank you. Spirit, thank you. If you like this, say yes, or you can do it yourself. Just see the violet diamond flame, the lavender violet flame, platinum lavender violet flame. Any of these that resonate with you, you can use. And everything in that energy field that feels stuck, or just ask Spirit to remove and transmute anything that you no longer is serving your journey. Thank you, Spirit. If you want that, just say yes, or just envision it yourself. A lot of you are getting a lot more gifts, and you're expanding your gifts, and it's just absolutely such a joy for me to channel and to read the energy. Like you're seeing your oneness with yourself, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Okay, so this is about your masculine. Like I feel like the last, I don't know, 5 readings, maybe 10, I don't know, have been really about you. And now the masculine is showing up very strong here. And it's in a way of like, did you forget me? Have you forgotten me? Of course, you haven't forgotten each other. I feel in a way though, like you're acting like you have, or you're trying to just get on with life because we can't stay stuck, you know, in this reflection, in this mirror, in this looking back forever. Like, what kind of life is that? I know, like, when you're in a cycle of looking back, it's very hard to do anything else. So I'm not judging anyone. But I feel for most of you, you're able to kind of break free of some of the patterns that you've had. Now, all of them, probably no. But there is some putting to rest here of some things that have challenged you from moving on. It's so crazy. It's like after the last reading I did, which was like 2 or 3 days ago. So in that reading, it was like, I said something. I don't really remember readings, so I can just remember usually little pieces sometimes, but it was like, I was like, you were looking at each other, not looking at each other, looking at each other, or something like that. And later that day, I watched someone do a reading, and they said that phrase almost verbatim. It was so crazy sometimes, like the collective energy readers, we say such similar things. And it was just, it's a nice confirmation, but it's also like, how do we, first of all, what are you doing with that information exactly? Like, why is this such important information to come out? It's like, you guys, they're bringing it up again. They're bringing that specific card up again, actually. It seems to be the most important card lately of all cards. That this recognition in both of you simultaneously has produced a big change in the collective energy, like a big shift. We kind of just, I'm not a timeline person, so we kind of just had a frequency jump. So one of the interesting things that's been coming up, and I did just share a Bashar video with this, though there's been, whenever I share some information like that, it's from multiple sources, and then I try to share the one that I feel like kind of encapsulates the sentiment of what I'm getting best. But it's like, people don't realize the power of changing your past. And whenever you change your present, right? Because the past doesn't really exist and the future doesn't really exist, but so people have an explanation of timeline, but I see it more as just this soup of like, if you have something stuck in your mind, it feels very inauthentic in a lot of ways to look at that power. That's kind of like just what I was going to say. You know, go into this void, go into the space and be like, I don't want to remember it this way. I want to remember it this way. That feels like a lie to our linear processing brain. But like divine feminine is based on the subconscious, it's based on chaos, right? Chaos is the void. It's the black and the yin yang. It's where all comes from, all exists, all possibilities, everything at once. And so it's really the opposite of linear time, right? Linear time is like a masculine construct on the 3D. So whenever I'm confused about why I'm having to face something in life and what is he facing exactly, I remember I talked about the conjunction, I think they called it, where the snakes are crossing over. We're getting super close to that conjunction, which means he's having to face some of the spiritual things that you've already faced, and you are having to face some of the physical things that he's already faced. And you may have like phantom or ghost energy of injuries and diseases and experiences that he's had. I know that's crazy. I know it's crazy. It does happen. There's a lot you're being asked to kind of take on faith right now. That, you know, you're the one that knows your path. You're the one good at making decisions for your life. So something kind of came up this morning about, you know, you're trying to expand and the people around you aren't necessarily understanding that expansion path. They're not understanding your vision. They don't understand the frequency, you know, kind of change that you want to make. And so they're holding a vibration of past you, you know. And it's hard to grow in that, in somebody always saying like, remember how you failed before, remember what happened a while ago, remember how that turned out really badly, remember you took a chance, you had a relationship, you did this and that didn't work for you, and you went through a bunch of pain, and they don't want you to experience the pain again, right? It's not like they're bad people most of the time. Some may want to hold you down, and that you need to really be discerning about. But really, it's like, it's this feeling of, you know, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't, or don't take that chance because you may wind up in getting hurt, burned, lost again, which is always a possibility. It is. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you everything's going to work out perfectly every single time, because that's not the path of expansion. The path of expansion is that as you come to very difficult situations, so whenever we're faced with these very kind of head-on, direct challenges, we can, again, take that lower path or take that higher path. And the higher path is, I'm going to use my discernment, I'm going to use my power, I'm going to release my fear, and I'm going to make the decision, along, of course, with help that you need, like legal, medical, financial, you know, people that can give you the assistance and guidance that you need. Then I'm going to make the decision that is best for my growth, right? That's radical responsibility. And that is kind of, I want to say, the highest level of humanity right now. One of the most challenging places to be. Now, whenever I say things like this, I feel, I kind of knew this card was going to come out. You know, you're always on this journey of, do I choose trust or do I choose fear? And that is, you know, you're on the edge of chaos when you do that. Now, when I say things like this, it's like the kind of automatic thing that kind of comes up is like, my masculine would never be in that stage, would never be in that growth, would never be in that. He just isn't doing that. He isn't, you know, but he is in his own way. You know, it always will look like the opposite polarity of you. So, you guys aren't doing the same thing at the same time, unless you're in that conjunction, right? In the conjunction, you are in the same place at the same time. And then, so I'm talking about the caduceus, where the snakes weave in and out up the staff of life. And in the crossing over, there's a conjunction. And those are those really intense times that are there for you to kind of be empowered from each other. You know, until we're at that vibration of non-judgment and non-reaction, we can't hold that for very long. So I am not a Kundalini expert. To be honest, my attempts at kind of working with Kundalini have not... I'm kind of more practical like that. It's just very strange the way that I'm made, and spiritually, like, I don't have that whole, like, I tried to do Kriya and like all of these different things, and it didn't really do anything for me. Because I'm just a very like grounded, strangely, person when it's so interesting. It's like you may feel kind of that dichotomy within yourself too. You know, the way we see ourselves is not the way everyone else sees us. But I am a much more practical person, and I think a lot of people would not agree with that statement, but that's how I see it. Wow, really intense cards. Yeah, that cross card has been coming out a lot. I have to say that he really, really finds you very beautiful, angelic, just this light and this really, it's a magnetic force, but it's like that force is growing stronger quickly right now for some reason. So he's in this, how do I do this? How do I, okay, so we always need to come to this discussion with a remembrance that the masculines are generally avoidant or disorganized attachment, fearful avoidant, and they don't really love this feeling of I want to attach, I want to be, but something is drawing them very strongly. And again, we have this reflection card here. It's like within you, he can see his, like, the beauty of him, but also all his flaws. And same with you. But it's always in this crazy mirror, right? So in a lot of ways, I think you have had difficulty lately maintaining hope. And I feel like there's a part of you that's saying, it's this whole Adam and Eve and snake and apple thing. It's so weird the way that it comes up for me. But it's like, I heard a story about the apple the other day, and how basically, you know, when you start using your logical mind and thinking, and that is the fear, right? We have this drive to like learn more, and really that learning more is kind of separating you from yourself, from your journey, from your spirituality, from your gifts, from him. And I think he has seen how he allowed that to happen in his life. Like, he allowed a lot of forces in his life to make him believe a lot of things. So apply it to your situation, but the kind of the things that are popping up are like, friends or family told him you were, you know, not good for him, crazy, using him, trying to take him away, or you would like, I don't know, like destroy parts of his life, or you couldn't ever really be what he needed, something along those lines. There's some force in his life, could be friends, could be family, could be whatever, that stopped him. Like, I get the sense that there was, you know how, like, if you have an addiction to a substance, part of the, what's the word? I just keep hearing lore, but part of like the camaraderie of it is that you partake in your particular addiction together. Now, that could be like people gather together over shopping, over eating, over exercise, over, but they also, you know, obviously over drinking and drugs and many different things. But when you stop doing whatever you're doing that's brought you together with these people, you find out what was the actual value in the relationship, right? And I feel like this right here, for those of you who have masculines that drink or take drugs, this was a big lesson that he learned. There wasn't really anything behind certain people in his life, and that they were just keeping him stuck and keeping him in a certain place because they wanted him to be there. And he started waking up to this fact and waking up to the fact that when he wanted something deeper, some other kinds of conversations, some other kinds of relationships, they couldn't really be there for him. And I think you probably went through a similar thing like that in a more spiritual way a while ago. But it could have continued, you know. On the spiritual journey, we kind of have to figure out who's willing to kind of meet us there and who's not. Yeah, I did feel that 5th house energy. And I'm not sure look at IUs. That's what he felt. I'm going to put this over here because that's the energy that I felt. Look at 5th house, 6th house, 9th house. So that's spirituality and faith. So we've had faith twice. Part of fortune, increase, ground trine, blessings. It's crazy. We have ended on this card in this deck like 3 times. And then we have Taurus I have, which is also money, possessions. 8th house and Scorpio plus Pluto, which will be opposing Venus on Friday opposing Venus. We have a crazy Uranus-Mars conjunction, and then we have a Pluto-Venus opposition this week. So it's a lot of energy this week. But so he had some kind of recognition about what he was actually building in his life. Because we have this Master Builder card here, 22. And we have this Neptune Sacrifice card, and then we have the 7 of Pentacles, which is a very spiritual card. And then we have the Faith card here, and the Alchemy, and the Page of Pentacles. I'm sorry, this is Knight of Pentacles. And then all leading to this Ace of Flames, which is, it can be an awakening card. It can be a very powerful spiritual event too. You know, he could have found a new church, found a new spiritual guidance of something. He could have read a book or had very enlightening conversations with someone that had a lot of spiritual knowledge. He could be watching you. He could be gaining a lot of insight just from his 3rd eye, which is what I feel like the awakening is. Even this card, with this, it has like a 0 above it. Right? It's like the Fool. It kind of makes me feel like he wants to start over. And it has like a crystal lotus on it. So the lotus is always there for me, kind of, what just symbolizing this knowledge. But I like to see that the crystal, the lotus is, you know, bloomed out of the mud, and so I am feeling like a lot of energy shift in my body, which is nice. And this Alchemy card, she's holding this pot. She's kind of holding a flame on her fingers, but she's holding it very close to her throat. And she is also holding like an orb that's green, kind of by her 3rd eye, could be by her throat. And this horse has a moon on his 3rd eye. And I'm feeling very, very strongly that the 3rd eye is very activated, and he's wanting to speak about something here. Very close to achieving your goal. Take time to breathe out. Energy's gaining momentum. You are good enough. You and your loved ones are safe. Do feel a little energy around safety here. Show the world the real you. It's time to take action. Commitment's being tested. Confidence is key to success. It's time to release negativity. Work through your fears. Conclusions are within reach. Expect powerful change. Be bold and make the first move. Adjustments are required. Communication is key. So, I don't know. I can feel there's an energy, a bit of disappointment in something. And yet you're carrying on. I'm not even sure why I feel that, but it's coming through in my heart. Let yourself process any disappointments, like, fully. That's my feeling. I love to see this ending on, we're releasing negativity because, you know, that Scorpio card did come up. Scorpio card came up here. We are in Cancer for a little bit longer. And like, let go of what you couldn't make happen. That's what that message coming through. Like, I want to cry now. It's so strong. I feel like there may be someone in your life kind of breadcrumbing or dangling or saying, oh yeah, you can have this, and they never deliver. Or maybe that's a narrative that has gone in your life. Right? Maybe that has gone on most of your life. Maybe there were parents, or this is actually a beautiful message coming through. There's 3 eggs here. I feel like you're breaking out of a certain shell. Like, there's shells of Cancer and Scorpio, and now there's 3 eggs, and this one has a door on it. And you're not to it yet. It says here and now, and I don't want to lose that narrative I was just talking about. They're saying right now, if you want to choose, you can rewrite the story, you can rewrite the past, and you can choose to have peace in your life. If you want to give up this narrative that someone else kind of holds your happiness in their hands, I'm getting strong father figure here, but it doesn't have to be. Like, always promising, never delivering, dangling carrots of, like, that's also that whole, like, situationship vibe, right? If you found yourself constantly attracting, like, commitment phobes, and they kind of reflect your low self-esteem to you, that cycle, there's a chance here to rewrite this, and it's very strong. You have to be willing to give it up, though. You have to be willing to, like, stop telling the story, right? There's just building blocks with all these books and all these chapters. It's like, how many times in your life do you want to rewrite? I'm seeing them as books, but I think they're like blocks and buildings. How many times in your life do you want to rewrite the same chapter with a different person or a different situation? You know, that hits home for me. But you know that if someone's going to deliver the goods or not, and, like, stop waiting for someone else to, like, be the one to grant your happiness. Like, they're just pretty strongly saying, like, see, fork in the road between the 2 roads here. You can choose to make your own decisions, and you can choose to make yourself happy. And know that that's, like, you know, they're showing me this here. This is kind of a reward. Oh, and there's one of my favorite cards. Look how similar these cards are, right? Pentacles aren't happiness, but they're kind of saying, like, ground this into reality if you want to. So we had the 0 card with that starseed card. This is the 1 card, the Magician. And the Magician can just rewrite the story. The Magician has all the tools. You know, this is the 3, this is the Empress between worlds. Your past may have looked like that, but it can just look like that if you decide it. And I know that's like a really crazy sounding thing when you first hear it. Like, I can't change the past. The past was what it was. But no, you actually can. Now science is finally with us on this. You can revise it. You can start telling the story. So like, you're not the victim, but you're the hero, or all worked out in your favor somehow. If you look, there will be just as many good things as bad things that happened. And I know, I've been through a lot of things. I know it's hard to be like, but I suffered abuse. And that, you know, that did happen. There will be a hidden blessing in it. I know that sounds really difficult to digest at times. If you have a hard time like digesting that message, I would say you really need to listen to Abraham Hicks, because I think that's the very pinnacle of trying to integrate that victim mentality. The window open and the cards are loud today, so. Okie dokie. Let us get some advice here, and I hope this message resonated for you. If you leave a comment or a message, you can put like a fire emoji if you want. It would really help. And a like. That's so funny. Fire. Lemurian healing. Ascended Masters. Oh, that's what happens in my life all the time now. And the moon. And Orion and Neptune. Ooh, please. Okay, so fire transmutes the old and takes the new to a higher frequency. Archangel Gabriel supervises Thor, the the elemental master of fire, and his salamanders. Your guidance is to ask them to transform the energy of conflict and then spread peace, warmth, and nourishment to people everywhere. So kind of exactly what I just said, right? With that peace card and the egg card and the pentacle card. You can ask fire to help you eat the right food so that you have perfect fuel for your ascension journey. It will also ignite your aura and keep your chakras fifth dimensional and glowing so that you attract many others to you and lead with inspiration. The affirmation is, I invoke fire to light my way to the new golden age. Lemurian healing. Lemurians were fifth dimensional androgynous beings who loved and wanted to heal Earth. They drew the love of God through the cosmic heart into this planet. Energy. Lemurians gathered the divine qualities from our energy fields and that of other stars, adding to the pure source light in order to form healing crystals to help us through our transition to the new golden age. I have some Lemurian crystals here. This one is violet. It's pretty rare. It's a record keeper. You can, oh look, isn't that beautiful? See all the notches on the side? You just read them. Beautiful, beautiful energy coming through. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So Lemurians then placed these healing crystals in the earth to light up the ley lines. Even now, when two or more gather with humility to focus on these crystals, powerful healing takes place. I send Lemurian healing to earth. Ascended Master retreats. I'm not going to read that one because I just read it, but the affirmation is I work with Ascended Masters. So if you have an Ascended Master that you want to work with, just ask that they take you to their retreat in sleep or meditation. So this is probably the most powerful card in this deck, I saw. I think Isis is also in here, and there's Saint Germain. You know, I love Saint Germain. That was my first kind of archangel experience. Thoth, the high priest in the golden era of Atlantis, led his tribe to South America to become an Inca civilization. He taught that when every single aspect is in tune, the whole is automatically in harmony. Your guidance is to bring all parts of your life and your body into alignment so that you enjoy perfect health and happiness. Imagine every cell of your body is part of an orchestra. Let your thoughts conduct a magnificent concert for radiant well-being. Attune each area of your life to its higher purpose so that your life is a celebration. My life and my health are in perfect harmony. And then on the bottom we have the moon. It's the causal chakra of the universe and radiates divine feminine energy. Call on it to cleanse your aura and energize you. Remember, the influence of the celestial body is always there, whether you can see it or not. When you are offered this card, you are called on to practice your feminine qualities of love, wisdom, compassion, intuition, inclusiveness, discernment, and oneness. Your guidance is to go within and seek answers from your huge plot of wisdom. Sorry. The moon will bring you clarity so that you can flow with the current of ascension. I listen to my divine feminine wisdom. So we actually cleared quite a bit of energy in this tarot reading, and you guys are integrating pretty strong energy, which is nice. So I hope this has served you. I hope this has helped you. I kind of never got to the point that I feel like your masculine really is going to come towards you, but not really going to say everything he wants to say. Or it may be in a really strange way. Like he may say something different than he really wants to say. It's a very interesting energy, but he's deeply thinking about you and this connection right now. And you probably feel that pretty strong. All right? So bye for now.